Welcome to Bones Knows, the week in review. Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday.
Yeah. How's your week been? You haven't been here.
I have been back after a 2-week holiday and it's been lovely, and I've come back feeling fresh and ready for action and thrown straight into the world of podcasting. So yeah, let's do this.
We've missed you desperately. We've been singing sad songs. Well, Simon has anyway.
Oh yeah.
So, very recently there's been a big iOS update. I think that's the biggest news in our sphere. And basically, Apple have ruined everything for everyone. Is that the general consensus?
So I saw the update come up and I was, I better do that. And then I saw our Mr. Producer, Tony, put up a status being like, do not do the update yet because it is going to ruin everything. So I've held off.
And why? Why isn't the update a good thing to do?
Well, I actually don't even know too much about it. I just saw Tony's status. Maybe Jez can enlighten me as to what the troubles are here.
So it just their update has just messed with a lot of third-party software. So a lot of your apps and stuff like that, or stuff that you're using through Safari, or if you're online, they're just not working as effectively. There's a lot of little glitches with them and stuff like that, and it just hasn't been rolled out particularly well. Or it's just Apple, everybody else get on board with what we're doing. We've got a huge market share, so they can kind of force people to do that.
And why is it the new update? Is it because of the new iPhone then across the board, they've released a new iOS update across everywhere?
Yeah. So it's a new update for the new iPhone, and then that's had like a dramatic impact. We've noticed it through some of the things that we use to post and stuff like that. It's had a bit of an effect with that. But this was 13.12 was the update that had caused a lot of the problems. But there's a new one, 13.13, which has actually fixed a lot of the issues that we've had. So
they give them sexy names, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Did anyone have issues with the iPhone update then? Because I personally didn't, but I've since heard a lot of people have had a lot of issues when they did the iPhone update as well.
To be clear, from behind the camera, yeah, he's talking about the iPhone update. The email I sent you was about the OS X, the Apple computer update. Two different things, but just so that's what we're talking about.
We're going to need one more camera facing this way.
Jamie, baby, I'm Jamie.
Pull that shit up. So there's been both iOS update and Mac update, which have kind of both...
Yeah.
So Apple are doing big things. What I do like about Apple is that they just have a strong, simple policy of like, yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
In fact, it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's a case you've got to deal with it. But it's been pandemonium. So things like social media scheduling tools just stopped working across the board.
Right. That's an issue.
Yeah, wouldn't post to Instagram, having constant problems with like videos and such. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an issue we had, didn't we? Yeah, of course, yeah. And we're trying to fix that accordingly, and we couldn't get the video to go on my phone to be posted. It just wasn't having. I couldn't understand why. Now we know why.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things with an update as well, is you just have to like, everything's broken. Everything's broken. Wait, is everything broken for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, everything's broken for everyone.
And you don't encounter the issue until you actually encounter it in day-to-day life. Like, oh, actually, this isn't working.
And obviously no company's going to send out a message and being like, hey guys, we've done an update. It might break everything.
But on the plus side, everyone now has personalised emojis.
Which is pretty good. You know what? I'll take it. I love those personalised.
Oh, man, crazy. I've had like my parents-in-law just being like, how did you do that? How did you do that? I'm like, it's on your phone. Did you update? And now everyone, my mom's got it, my dad's got it. Everyone's sending me the thumbs up looking like them.
What I was impressed with the Memojis, as they're known, is how easy it was to set up.
Yeah.
It's the easiest avatar I've ever had to set up. And
Yeah.
like, even to the point where my lovely lady Lou had sent me hers, and I was like, nah, you're a bit blonder than that. She's like, cool. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
Sends it out again. Like, it's that easy to fix it. It's not even something where just the first time you go through it, the setups are really easy, but you can go back and change it. It's been cool seeing everyone, what everyone thinks they look like.
My first draft, my first one I sent out, people were replying, everyone across the board was like, you look like a baby with a beard. And I was like, oh, it's because I've got rosy cheeks in this for some reason. I don't remember doing that. I need to rectify this immediately.
So I like it. I'm going to move to the new iPhone as well, and looking forward to seeing what all these updates actually mean.
Right, of course,
as per always,
because that's why we're having it.
Yeah. And as always the case, isn't it? When a new iPhone comes out, the old ones stop working briefly, and there's a whole bunch of stuff where you're like, well, why is this on my phone? Because you don't have the new one.
I'm very interested in the camera. Camera looks amazing. And that's, now iPhones, for me, it is the video and camera.
Yeah.
Other than it being a phone, that's what you want it for now. And it looks incredible with what they've been doing with that now.
One of our clients, Phil Treadwell, which has the iPhone, and was showing me the difference between dark and light. Like, a picture that your phone will not take, the iPhone 10 will not take in the dark, looks like it's the middle of the day
Yeah.
with the 11, like literally. And also it's got normal, zoom, and ultra wide all
yes.
from the same spot, and they look crisp. Like that new camera is amazing. But the biggest and best part of the update, by a long way, have you seen how you now move around text?
Oh, sliding across the keyboard.
That's right. So basically, if you hold the space bar, you're then able to move around the text with your thumb, and it is a game changer. I was there tapping like you used to before and being like, how do I move over and, how do I make that a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence? Now I can move around, free form, game changer.
I forgot that even happened because when I first did the update and it was like, you can do this now, and I did it. I was like, wow, this is easy. Then I just kind of forgot about it afterwards. I just need to start using that again.
Well, and what the amazing thing is about Apple is that they just won't tell anyone that.
No.
You need someone like our wonderful Tony to be like, have you seen this? To be like, it's amazing. And people will be a year down the line before everyone's actually jumped on board and seen that.
Oh, yeah. You can have an iPhone for forever and someone still show you something you didn't know it could do. Same with a Mac in general. Just Apple as a whole. There's loads of shortcuts, things you can do that you just didn't even know about.
And the one I still show people is the fact that the volume button will take a photo. If you have photograph or video up and you hit the volume button just like it's a camera, bam, it starts the video or photo. People still do not know that at all, and it blows people's minds.
On the volume, it's such a small thing, but I'm really glad they did it. And that they've now changed the volume bar, so it's a small line in the corner. Yeah. I used to hate it being in the screen. You'd be showing someone a video or something. Oh, you can't hear it, I'll turn it up. Oh, now you can't see what I'm showing you. So there's a big, huge white square in the middle of the screen.
That's it. So people hate updates, but I think Apple do a good job. And what I really like about them is they're just like, screw you policy of we're doing it and everyone else can jump on board. We're the behemoths. We are the heavyweight champion of phones. And, you third parties can jump on board or not, basically.
Yeah.
I really like that stance because it means that everyone else has to up their game.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen when I used to work in the security industry, they do that everywhere. Like if they decide that there's an update happening, the service providers, i.e. like the telco companies, literally just have to get on board. It's a simple thing that, everyone has to update what they're doing, even though all these other phone companies don't need it. If Apple say they're doing it,
Apple follow Apple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Follow the leader.
Indeedy. God bless them. So we've covered Greg is back. That was the most important
I am
thing.
back.
Yep.
Hello, I'm back.
So what did you do while you were away? What did you do?
I did loads of family activities, lots of like going to like Science Museum and the Discovery Outlook Centre in Bracknell.
What did you learn at the Science Museum?
I had some cool things with bubbles.
So not much. Not much.
I mean, it was mainly chasing Indiana. It was mainly chasing my daughter around. My back's killing me from carrying her around all the time. And then we took her to Cheswold Adventures. I now appreciate that place more when a 2-year-old's there.
Really?
I was starting to realise what's the point of this place anymore. You go with a 2-year-old, they love it. There's loads of them to do. Yeah. Animals and easy rides for kids to go on. Yeah, a good day.
Good solid day.
Yeah. A good 2 weeks off. Yeah,
I suppose it was incredible as we were kids going to theme parks, and then it got really boring as a teenager.
I mean, they've really turned Cheshunt into the kids' theme park. Yeah. They kind of moved the good rides to like Fort Park.
Okay.
So now the crazy rides there are now like the Vampire and Ramesses.
Right. They've still got the Vampire.
Vampire's still there, going strong.
It's got to be a 20-year-old ride.
And the big twist when I was there is that Bubbleworks is now the Gruffalo ride.
I don't know what that is.
Gruffalo is like a kid's book.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's now, Bubbleworks is no more. It's now the Gruffalo, even though it's still the same format. You still sit in the little cups and go around the water. But yeah, now it's the Gruffalo ride.
Gruffalo cups.
Yeah. Big changes.
Big changes.
Big changes.
Thank God you spent a couple of weeks away finding things out.
I know, went on it 3 times. The little one loved it.
Did you hit the zoo?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How sad is that?
It is sad, although I will say one thing. It is really sad, especially the gorillas. Like, you really feel for them. But one thing that I will say that was a positive is that they've moved the tigers into a new enclosure. Which, Dragon Falls, the old waterlog ride they used to have, it's now a tiger-based one. Same thing, just tiger in a title.
So the tigers are just like going down water rides?
Not really, but the enclosure's really big now, and it has like caged like walkways that go over the ride, so they can walk through, and the enclosures are massive, and there's like multiple ones around this huge ride.
Can you still go on the ride with tigers around you?
You can't. They don't touch you. They're behind caged walkways and what have you. But it's a much bigger. It looked a lot nicer.
So you can just be on a log ride and just catch a whole lot of
just look up and say, there's a tiger there.
There's a tiger taking the shit on you.
But seeing the zoo and being like, it's quite sad for the tigers, I was like, actually, these guys have got it made here. This is really nice.
I've never not seen a sad zoo.
It's true.
Never once.
It's true.
I remember going to the zoo in Hungary, and it's massive. Like, it's a massive zoo in Budapest. It's absolutely huge. But all I remember from it is this polar bear, and it was the height of summer. It's like 35 degrees plus, and there's this polar bear just sitting around looking at people like, why am I here? Like, what is going on? Occasionally, it kind of like drag itself to the edge and fall in the water and be like, "Yep, that's still warm."
Yeah, I felt bad.
Such a sad experience
at the zoo in Amsterdam when an elephant kind of walked up to us and just started doing this really sad dance. Like, and we were just like, "Oh my god, I can't watch this anymore." This elephant obviously thinks we're going to feed it, and we can't, and it's just dancing for food. Oh my god, yeah, like we'll dance for food, holding up the sign.
Zoos are the saddest things, man. But I remember loving them as a kid. It was incredible.
Well, that's it. That's why my daughter loved them. She was only 2, but she loves animals. So for her, it was a crazy. She
Did you
loved
explain
it.
how sad it was?
I don't think she understood. She was more just like, although she, looking at the lions, looking through this glass window, I'm like, Indiana, the lion is right next to you. Look. But she was more like, water! Looking at the pool they drink from. So, easily entertained. Don't even need the animals in there half the time.
Which is why they're going towards kids.
There you go. Yeah.
Rename a cup ride and you're killing it. So in other news, Hardcore History may or may not back. We still know nothing.
It's on its way. This could mean,
is this
next week, next month?
Is this a continuation of a previous episode, or is it a whole new part of history he's talking about? Do we know?
The continuation of is what was it? Something in the East? I can't.
Something
Supernova in the East. That's the
Okay.
one. Missed that one off the top of my head. But it could be next week. It could be another month. It could be knowing down another 6 months.
I mean, you can't begrudge him for taking his time. He puts a lot of work in and talks for like 5+ hours straight. So
yeah. If you're dropping essentially, a 6-hour episode every time you put one out, fair enough. Maybe only do that every 6
you can't
months.
begrudge him taking his time.
Yeah, a lot
can.
of reading.
I want to listen to that show. Why don't 6 months isn't enough? Taking my good Patreon money. Okay, so we're basically doing Hardcore History Watch at this point.
Yep.
Yes.
And over the next 1 to 10 months, maybe an episode will be released, or we'll still just be talking about
Chasing leads and various sightings.
yeah, where it's down.
So on podcast, what are you listening to at the moment?
What am I listening to at the moment on podcasts? Last 2 weeks I was off. I didn't really listen to any podcasts. But I am listening to like a friend of mine, Anywhere But Here podcast. I say a friend of them. I've never actually met them.
Nice.
I just met through the world of podcasting.
And what's the show about?
It's quite similar to All Seeing Guys, but more political, I guess. I listen to them tell me what's happening with Brexit.
Okay.
But because they get angry about it and I enjoy listening to them. And they was like, we're going to explain this for our international listeners. And I'm listening to it being like, well, I need to explain to me. So this is perfect. And the host, Tom, and Ant, really good fun hosts. So yeah, I enjoy listening to their podcast when it comes up. And still, always, even though we do have issues sometimes with the sound, I always go back to Batman Beyond with Kevin Smith.
Me too.
I like the news bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I stop when the questions get asked. Sometimes I zone out because everyone asks the same questions and I get bored of hearing them. If you could pick 3 Marvel characters to fight 3 DC characters, who would you? Every time. Oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
And the problem is with a bunch of Kevin Smith's podcasts is that they all started like this as like, straight traditional podcasts, but he's taken them all live.
Yeah.
And you get what you get live sound. Like it's just as simple as you get. And tons of times you'll hear Mike's whistle or Mike's not work or one person's really loud. And it probably sounds okay in the room, but what they're getting off the desk is horrible. The other annoying thing about that show is it's now not Kevin Smith while he promotes his new movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's off for a while, yeah.
And did you see that him and Jason Mewes got their hands
I did.
in cement?
At the Chinese Theatre, yeah.
Man's Chinese Theatre.
Yeah,
I
watched
Man's Chinese Theatre anymore.
I watched the Ben Affleck speech beforehand, introducing them. Yeah, it was nice. It was a good speech. He wasn't getting as many laughs as he wanted, you could tell, but yeah, good speech. Considering I hadn't spoken to him for years, I love these guys. Like,
No, it was really, really sweet though. It's nice to. Kevin Smith told a nice story about how his dad had taken him there 40 years beforehand. No, taken them there as a family trip.
Right.
And they'd walked up and down and seen all the things, but that was 79 that he took them. So 40 years later. And apparently he said his dad said a real throwaway comment of being like, you like movies, you could be here one day. And Kevin Smith's very honest and just saying that's genuinely something you just say to a kid.
Yeah.
If we were fishing, you'd be like, one day you could catch a fish.
Yeah.
If a kid was into sports and they were watching a basketball game, be like, you could get a 3-pointer. They just said it to him. Really nice that 40 years later, he's managed to actually get their hands in it. And
one day you'll be the granddad dishing out Werther's originals.
that is the dream. That's why I've always got a pocket of Werther's. I mean, Jez, what podcast have you been listening to recently?
I mean, the football season is back in full swing, so I've been listening to mostly football podcasts.
What's the best football podcast for you?
Well, I mean, the Ramble takes the biscuit as far as I'm concerned. Football Ramble, it's my favourite football podcast, but there's plenty of good ones.
Week?
Yeah, we were at Ramble Live, not last Friday beforehand.
Okay, what's it like live?
It's good. It's different. I mean, it's fairly similar. It's the same four guys having a conversation. They'll have like an live act and stuff like that beforehand. So like a comedian and stuff, which is pretty good. Maisie Williams was on when we were there. She was really quite funny. She was pretty good.
Who's Maisie Williams?
She's a female comedian.
Okay.
She's pretty good. Yeah,
I thought it was Ira Stark.
So did I. Yeah.
Is it? I might have the names. Yeah, because I've probably got the names mixed up then or something.
Oh no, yeah, Maisie's the
Maisie something.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maisie something. Yeah,
Not the
the
one who killed
stabby
the Ice
stabby
King.
needle. No,
not the
not
needle
that one. No.
chick. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Not
Not
Winter.
the needle chick.
No.
So was it a different show live than it was that you listened to?
Quite similar, but there's a lot more in it, and they're just a little bit. I don't think they have to be so cautious about liable. Maybe is it?
Does it get released as an episode, or is it just like a live?
Just a live?
Yeah, because I saw. Have you seen a podcast live before? As in, like, gone to like a
Yes,
theatre or so to watch it.
Me and Tony, funnily enough, went to go and see Kevin Smith. But I'm not very good at booking tickets.
Right.
So we went and it was stood up. So we watched the entirety of Hollywood Babylon stood up.
Wow.
Then Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Right.
So we were like 2.5 hours in, and then I want to say
There was a Q&A.
Then there was some a whole big bag of Q&A.
Yeah.
And then after that, they were meant to be doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old,
Right.
which was the show I was listening to at the time, and the show that I wanted to go and see. So I think we bailed. Yeah, it was just essentially we stood there like,
Right.
feet giving up the fight. So yes, I have. But the difference is Kevin Smith's shows are exactly what I hear.
Yeah.
So like, those live shows, he releases them all. Where it's interesting to know that the Ramble have their podcast and then also do live shows, but they're almost separate entities.
Well, they're very, very similar. They sit together and complement each other very well. It's not like you're getting an entirely different show when you go and see it live, but there is just more in there because I think they can be a little bit freer and a little bit looser.
So I saw a podcast live before, and I went and saw Last Podcast on the Left, one of my favourite podcasts, all about kind of serial killers, aliens, and paranormal, but it's comedy based. And they were the same thing. It wasn't recorded for an episode. It was just them live. First time they'd been in the UK. And it was just an absolute blast. They went more down the visual route. They had loads of videos to show us and things like that. So it was a very different experience, but still hilarious. And it was like a little theatre in Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
And it was great.
That's what I was surprised about the Ramble is the fact they're just doing exactly the same show as they would do on a podcast, but not releasing it as a podcast. I think if you're going to do something and not release it as a podcast, then you can do it. You're not, confined by trying to do an audio show and make it good. You can do stuff.
Yeah.
You can do, have people on stage. You can do more of a stage show, essentially, than trying to do a radio show.
Yeah, and
There's a lot more dancing.
Yeah, for starters. And they do have the stuff projected behind them as well. There is a visual element to it, which obviously you're not getting with the with a podcast.
And there was a musical number. Let's not just forget they did sing us a song.
Yeah,
which they don't normally do. Apart from Pete.
That's very, very true. So there is like extra stuff in, and they do embrace like the live show element and the fact that you do have the visual side to it as well. But it does sit very nicely with the Ramble at the same time.
Nice.
It is very much in the wheelhouse. I mean, you don't want to disappoint your fans, do you?
No.
I think what Jez was saying as well about the liable thing is some things on the show where they're like, oh, we can't talk about that.
Sure.
On the live shows, they'll be like, we can totally talk about this here.
Yeah.
So they sort of get away with things. That's why they don't publish those shows, I think, because it gives you a reason to come to the live show.
And I suppose it gives you a little bit more freedom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit more freedom where you can have some fun on the, and do a bit more of a stage thing. Like what I was surprised at when we saw Hollywood Babylon is like I listened to the show and hear people laughing during like the segment titles. Turns out Kevin Smith does a whole bunch of like face stuff, mime things where he's like acting out each intro. Never knew until I saw it because it's not a show that I
Right,
watched
yeah,
on
you're like, what they're
YouTube.
laughing at. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why people finding the title sequence so funny. And one thing I know for sure about Kevin Smith, if he'd done it once, he's done it 1,000
Yeah, of
times.
course. Yeah.
Whenever he finds something that works, if it's a jokes that works, it's something he's going to do forever. I guess for me, podcasts have only been Rogan at the moment.
Right.
Rogan and a bit of Joey Coco Diaz, just to keep your mind right, keep you on the level.
I haven't listened to much Rogan recently, actually. I've been slipping with it, but what good guests has he had on?
Well, really good episode with Cameron Haynes, which was great, just because it's nice to hear him talk about being a crazy person and some interesting stuff, because he'd hung out with David Goggins since those two were last on. So that's always interesting, because David Goggins is clearly a known savage, and so is Cameron Haynes. But to see someone who runs a marathon every day, holds someone else in such high regard is really, really cool. He's like, I'm pretty cool. That guy goes for it. And I'm like, you run a marathon every day before work. Like, oh God. So that was a real good episode. And Evander Holyfield as well, which is a good
nice
show. Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice to hear his relationship with Mike Tyson and how that's gone since the ear chewing.
Right,
because they're good friends now.
Yeah. And interesting to see, effectively, because Mike was on recently as well, wasn't he? So like to kind of see the both of them on there.
And Evander Holyfield has been on Hotboxing. He's been on Mike's show. They're absolutely friends. They know each other. They've been aligned ever since that moment.
If he makes jokes about it as well, just like, oh yeah, I know Tyson. Yeah, he talks for ages. Chew your ear off. Like, he's got him. Surely he's got him.
That and Hotboxing is just up there with my favourite show at the moment. They had Bruce Buffer's brother Michael on the line. Yeah, let's get ready to rumble.
Oh yeah.
On the show, and brilliant episode from someone who's literally carved out an entire career out of nowhere for themselves of being that presenter, and is now, you hear that. You know it's a show.
The boxing commentator guy, I watched the live action Dumbo over the 2 weeks off.
Of course he did.
He's in it. Apparently, because he comes out and he does the "Let's get ready to Dumbo," and Lizzie's like, "That's the boxing guy. He's the famous boxing commentator." And I was like, "Is he? Oh, okay."
So did you know?
You might want to double check that. I'm going by what my wife told me, and
or if not, it was a parody on him, and even that's enough, right? So do you know that him and the guy who presents the UFC are brothers?
No.
So that's right. Bruce Buffer is the guy who introduced it. It's time. Is the younger brother of Michael Buffer, who does and Michael Buffer had done a couple of UFCs, and then basically was like, I'm a boxing guy, and essentially gave it to his brother, who is now part of the scenery.
Take the reins, boy.
Yeah, and Bruce Buffer goes to every single fight, no matter where it is in the planet. He is there dressed like an absolute 70s pimp, ready to rock and roll, and do it. But really, really interesting, because So Bruce Buffer, who does the UFC, was essentially Michael Buffer's booker. He was like his PA for years and years and years, because he was making crazy money with that whole Ready to Rumble. But also the how Let's Get Ready to Rumble happened. There used to be monster cars, and basically he was looking for something to let the audience know it's time to get excited. So there used to be, or there probably is, with monster cars or Demolition Derby or something, which was, gentlemen, start your engines, and then everyone's like, it's happening. So that's the whole thing he was looking to do, is essentially find a thing where you can bring the crowd up to crescendo, and then let's get going. Really good show. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
And then Ant and Zach got hold of Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Exactly, and then it all fell released. But yeah, Hotboxing and Rogan have been pretty much my jam at the moment, and of course, listening to Joey Coco Diaz, because you should listen to that every week.
Yeah, Joey's just... the man's a savage, and will get you going for what you need to be going for.
And genuinely one of the funniest people alive. We saw him twice or three times when we went to California last year, and it was twice actually. So we saw him twice over like 3 days, and both times more than one person fell off their chair laughing.
I can believe it.
Like literally holding the sides, couldn't breathe anymore. He has a way of staring people up into a frenzy of laughter that no one else I've ever seen has. Like, just catches a wave and keeps it going until people are like hoping he stops just so they can take a breath.
Yeah, he's one of those podcasters where with a band you like going back to your favourite song. He's one of those podcasters you like revisiting your favourite stories he tells.
Big time. Yeah. Big time. And thankfully, as a podcaster, he just tells those stories over and over again.
Yeah.
So you can dive in whenever. Apart from that, I think that's pretty much the news for this week. We've got nothing else on the line. How about you behind camera? You got anything else for us?
Wrap this shit. We got shit to do.
In that case, let's get the week started. Happy week review, everyone.
Happy week review.